Kerry Grombacher and Aspen Black, both successful solo artists, have worked together as a duo since 2014. Influenced by the English ballad tradition, the string band music of Aspen's Appalachian home, and the Corridos of the desert Southwest, where Kerry has lived and worked, their songs tell stories of the people and events that shaped the West. Here are Kerry Grombacher and Aspen Black, and don't hesitate to use the tip jars.
Howdy, Kerry Grombacher here, joined by my duo partner Aspen Black from Rocky Mount, Virginia. We're coming to you this afternoon from Unionville, Missouri, where we're in town for a concert at the Bixler 108 concert venue. We're back on the road a little bit, and we're almost at Tumbleweed. This is our virtual set for the Tumbleweed Festival. Look forward to being literally back on the banks of the Columbia River in Howard Ammon Park next year in 2022. But it's a pleasure to be back with you, at least this way. I miss the Tumbleweed family, a family I've been part of since the early 2000s. Just love coming out to Richland. We're going to start things off with a cowboy tune I wrote called We Rode the River Till the River Ran Dry. 1, 2, 3, 4. No wonder how I came to be walking. Any luck I might have had's long left behind. It only matters now that we threw in together, and we rode the river till the river ran dry. Haven't had a friend since I was just a youngster. Never felt the need, didn't take the time. You work side by side with a man, that's gotta mean something. And we rode the river till the river ran dry. God, I wish he'd never crossed that border. Should've known to leave well enough alone. That's a lesson you don't learn till you've grown older. And he might still be alive if he hadn't left home. We never talked about the past, but we both had one. No cause to boast, no call to lie. But you learn enough from the firm grip of a handshake. And we rode the river till the river ran dry. Late one night he sang an old corrido, one I too recalled from years gone by. A young man seeks his fortune but finds his death. And we rode the river till the river ran dry. God, I wish we'd never crossed that border. Should've known to leave well enough alone. It's a lesson you don't learn till you've grown older. And he might still be alive if he hadn't left home. Through the rain I watched the lights come on in Juarez. The wind kicked up as the day began to die. He's buried over yonder in a narrow grave. And we rode the river till the river ran dry. I woke to the eyes of a she-wolf staring at me. The air was still, the pale light touched the sky. The eyes resolved into Venus and Mars above me. Love and war rode the river till the river ran dry. God, I wish I'd never crossed that border. Never touched anything that was not my own. But I've lived this long without a thought to growing older. And now another cowboy's riding home. Through the dawn I hear a mournful gray wolf cry. And we rode the river till the river ran dry. We rode the river till the river ran dry. We rode the river till the river ran dry. Well, thank you all very much. We're going to do the next tune here. It's a Utah Phillips song that I know many of you up in the Northwest know. I do Rosalie Sorrell's arrangement of it, and we've got additional lyrics by Priscilla Herdman, who did a duet version of this with Utah back years and years ago. It's a song we love doing. I Remember Loving You. Well, I look at my brown suitcase, think about the places I have been. Railroad yards and the prison guards, dusty little towns along the stem.
And I look at these old letters and the postcards from the places you've been through.
Oh, I remember all these things, but most of all, I remember loving you. I remember loving you back when the world was new. And I think you love me too. And I remember loving you. Well, the buckskin smells, so the people tell, when you're huddled in a boxcar from the rain. Flashing lights will cut the night, and those railroad bulls will pull you from the train.
When you're lying cold in my bed alone, and I can't sleep for thoughts of you.
Oh, I remember all these things, but most of all, I remember loving you. I remember loving you back when the world was new. And I think you love me too. And I remember loving you. I remember loving you back when the world was new. And I think you love me too. And I remember loving you. Now there are icy streets where the rain and sleet comes soaking through the cardboard of my shoes. Paradise might get to mean a place where you could get free cigarettes and booze.
I'm by your side everywhere you ride, and I'm with you in everything you do.
Oh, I remember all these things, but most of all, I remember loving you. I remember loving you back when the world was new. And I think you love me too. And I remember loving you. I remember loving you back when the world was new. And I think you love me too. And I remember loving you. Well, I think you love me too. And I remember, oh, I remember loving you. Thank you all very much for that one. Aspen is not only a terrific instrumentalist, plays guitar and bass, fiddle, ukulele, all kinds of stringed instruments. She's also a wonderful songwriter. This is one of her tunes.
Thank you. Yes, we were at a show in Derby, Kansas, and we got taken out to pie and coffee afterwards by a man named Chester and his wife Sharon. And as we were sitting down over that, Chester began telling us how he was upset because he had been let go from his job at a tractor repair shop. And he had just given his all during that time. And, he's an older man. He's in his 80s. And he said, but before that, I used to be in the Air Force. And even before that, I worked as a young boy in the cornfields of Iowa, picking corn to feed our family. And I realized that this was a slice of American history that was unfolding right in front of me, and I had to get it down. So I pulled out my cell phone and started typing, and got down as much as I could. And as we traveled on through Kansas, the rest of that 2 weeks or so, Kerry was driving and I was scribbling down notes on my notepad and working out this song, and he's over there throwing me different lines as he's driving. And so this is a song that we co-wrote called Hard Work, affectionately known as Chester. Thumb hook tool and hitch the mules to harvest the corn. 10 years old hands working till they bled. He filled the crib by dark, sales kept the family fed. Just doing my job is all he ever said. 'Cause hard work is what he's born to. Hard work is all he's known. Reaping the crop that he's sown. Hard times raise boys to men, but that's the way they grew 'em back then. He turned 22 in Air Force Blue and learned mechanic skills. Planes lived in on a wing and a prayer. Torquing props and patching holes, he kept our flyboys in the air. And just doing my job, he said we all did over there. 'Cause hard work is what he's born to. Hard work is all he's known. Reaping the crop that he's sown. Hard times raise boys to men, but that's the way they grew 'em back then. Moving all around, another 35 years of fixing engines in a Kansas town. Till they laid him off at the tractor shop when his back finally broke. They said they needed younger men with newer skills. But they called him up last week, they had a backlog to fill. He said, I do my job and you know I always will. 'Cause hard work is what he's born to. Hard work is all he's known. Reaping the crop that he's sown. Hard times raise boys to men, but that's the way they grew 'em back then. That's just the way they grew 'em back then.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Tumbleweed. We'll see you in 2022.